Morning, everybody. It is day two. Let me think about this. 36. The high in my area, not 36, to 26. The high in my area is 51 degrees. So we're going back to the coral for the next row. For the next row, we're going to do 3 double crochets in the first space and every other space all the way down to the end. And we're going to end with 1 double crochet. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. I'm happy it's a little warmer today. I may go outside for a walk, so hopefully I'll get to enjoy a little time in the sun. All right, enjoy the rest of this video.
So here's the second Thanksgiving story. It's shorter than the first one. It says, Am I the butthole for telling my wife that she can stay home this Thanksgiving? My wife is a grade A plus picky eater. It's bothersome to a certain degree, but on holidays, basically, the show begins. She refused to eat certain meals, and mom would take it personally, which results in a series of arguments between them. As a compromise this year, my wife offered to bring her own food to Thanksgiving dinner. I was stunned. I asked if she thought this through, and she looked at me confused. I told her about how weird it'd be for her to bring her own food, especially when she wouldn't be sharing it with anybody else, and told her to think about how mom would react. She get very offended and upset. My wife said that it's not her problem and that she was just trying to make it work by bringing her own meal. I told her again that mom might not like nor even allow this. She blew up at me asking if I want her to either eat food she doesn't like or go hungry. I suggested she give mom's food a chance, but she said it wasn't about my mom's cooking. She just doesn't like certain foods. We had an argument, and I ended up telling her she could stay home this Thanksgiving and have whatever meal she likes. She got quiet, then lashed out on me, calling me insensitive and negative to say this to her. I repeatedly asked her to calm down because she couldn't stop ranting about how I was basically willing to exclude her from a major event. She started cold shouldering me about it while at the same time guilting me, saying I'm treating her poorly after she offered the perfect compromise. Update. And so my wife has decided to go spend Thanksgiving with her family, who, by the way, live hours away. So this means unnecessary travel expenses instead and basically ditch me for the whole week. Y'all happy now? Though I appreciate some insightful comments on the situation, some others not so much, especially with those assumptions claiming that my wife has allergies. She does not. Y'all get that from question mark. But anyway, so y'all good now. I guess though I'm not thrilled with her decision. I feel like she's doing it to spite me or to get me to cave in. So that's OP's story. We're going to read some of the comments. He already alluded to that people were not happy with him. The first one says, You're the butthole. She offered compromise. My wife's family does the Feast of the Seven Fishes. I hate fish. So since I joined the family, it's the Feast of the Seven Fishes and a chicken. We all get a good laugh, and my mother in law is happy to make it for me. That's sweet. Let's see another comment. This one's pretty long. It says, I have a very loved but diet misguided vegan nephew. I'm a meat eater through and through. But his veganism, I don't think I have ever made a simple food item without an animal product. I spent hours researching vegan food for Thanksgiving. I made additions and adaptations to our menu. We did hummus in addition to cheese dip. I did a portion of asparagus without bacon and some potatoes with oil instead of butter. I added Brussels sprouts. He was flattered and slightly teenage boy embarrassed I was being that aunt, and many times offered to just bring his own food. No, child. Auntie's house is where you come to get spoiled. Here's your plate of veg, and there's more if you want seconds. OP, your wife should feel loved and respected at her mother-in-law's. Instead, you made her feel marginalized and unwanted. You're the butthole. Okay, let's see. This comment says, my stepdad, R.I.P. Andy, was hand waving Italian Catholic. Came to the U.S. when he was 6. Upheld all the traditions, but he loved the Feast of the Seven Fishes. He worked on that meal from planning to execution more than he worked on Christmas dinner, and he always had a couple extra non-fish offerings because not everyone can do the fishes, you know. He loved your 7 fishes and a chicken. That was in response to the other response. So let's read a completely new. Okay, so here's a new one. It says, you're the butthole for not standing up for your wife. She's trying very hard to make holidays work with your family, but you only care about your mommy's feelings. If your mother is so thin skinned that she can't handle the idea that people have different dietary needs, she doesn't get to host parties. Edit, your update makes you look absolutely the butthole. Hundreds of people are telling you that you need to support your wife, and when you don't, you get angry that she's going to head to her family who does support her. Man, you are a terrible husband. So let's read a couple more comments. This one says, so let me recap. She came up with a solution to endure the meal that is being around. Oh, to endure the ordeal that is being around your mother. You told her you were too scared of mommy to even allow your wife to suggest finding a solution. Gosh, mommy is so scary. When she told you you were insensitive to her legitimate problem, you told her to calm down. Ugh, women, right? Come on, dude. You should be thankful your wife isn't picky about the men she marries. You're the butthole. Let's read 2 more comments. Okay, this one says info. Has your mother ever attempted to accommodate your wife's food issues? Are there typically any dishes that work for your wife? Edited in response to OP's update. You're the butthole. Considering their unwillingness to answer questions here, I'm going to guess that there hasn't been a lot of discussion with your wife in which you were open to options. Saying she does not have allergies does not preclude sensitivities, intolerances, or bad past experiences with food. Both the obligation to adapt reasonably to guests as a measure of hospitality and the acceptability of taking food to an event vary by both culture and individual family and American culture. There's not one hard and fast rule for it. Okay, we're going to read one last comment. It says, you're the butthole. Your wife is doing exactly what those with food allergies do, bring their own food. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Your mom needs to not be so easily offended by your wife's food preferences. And this is the response to that response. I second this. I have diabetes and often have to bring something to events or dinners and stuff because there's so much I can't have. It affects my mental health as well, so it could ruin everything. And people are like, oh, you can have a little just cheat, and they don't understand that I have to be careful with everything I eat and can't have alcohol with insulin. Definitely agree about the allergies. Okay, I said one last comment. We're going to read one more. This one is kind of long, but it'll wrap us up. It says, you're the butthole. You're actually a double butthole here. First, you don't explain why your wife is a picky eater, and I suspect it's not because she doesn't like stuff, but that there are issues with certain foods. My wife has numerous issues that make regular meals a problem. For example, she can't have ordinary black pepper. It took me 15 plus years to get my mom to fully realize how complex my wife's dietary restrictions are. Bringing food is a perfectly acceptable alternative these days. If your mom can't support that and can't support making something that your wife can eat, then neither of you should go. Second, you're siding with your mom over your wife. Did you exchange marriage vows with your mom too? Is that why you won't support and defend the person you supposedly chose to build a life with? Keep doing that and you won't have a wife anymore. The cold shoulder is just the start. Next up will be the wild ride that this poor guy went on, and it's a link to another story. But yeah, so that's this week's story. You can put in the comments what you think about it. Is OP the butthole in your opinion? And I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.